Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Agtech Accelerator virtual showcase. Great to see many of you here today on this very rainy day here in Queensland. My name is Philip Curlin. You can call me Phil in the chat, and I'll be your host for today. I'm a partner at the Brisbane-based innovation agency, Innovation Architects, and I'm also a partner in Australia's newest agri-food tech focused venture capital fund called Mandalay Venture Partners. We invest in agri-food technologies from farm to fork in startups that are at the seed to Series A stage. A little bit of housekeeping before we dive into pitching. Firstly, note that this session is being recorded. Now, as an attendee, that doesn't affect you. You will not appear in the recording in any kind of way unless you share a question in the Q&A section, which we encourage you to do, and we may respond to these during the webinar live or in written format. So yes, do use the Q&A section below. Today we'll hear from 10 amazing companies that have been part of the first cohort of the Agtech Accelerator. Each founder will get about 5 minutes to talk about their business, their achievements so far, and also their next steps. We will switch from founder to founder, different presentations, different pitches, a few videos. So bear with us as we do all of these live and just enjoy the Zoom magic on this beautiful afternoon here. Great. So back to myself. I'm actually here today as the program manager for the inaugural Queensland-based Agtech Accelerator program ran by the Agtech and Logistics Hub. ran by the Agtech and Logistics Hub based in Toowoomba, and in partnership with innovation architects. I'm probably not the best person to be talking to you about the amazing work that the Hub is doing within Queensland and to build our agri-food tech and innovation ecosystem. And therefore, I wanted to invite at the beginning of this webinar, Owen Williams to share a few words about the Hub, the Agtech and Logistics Hub, its partners, and obviously its philosophy, its activities, and a little bit of a teaser for what's happening in the next few months at the Hub. So Owen, I'm going to be asking you to turn on your camera or to unmute yourself and join me here on stage.
No worries. Thank you, Phil. Can you hear me? Just a radio check.
Yep, can hear you really well.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you, Phil, and thanks for Innovation Architects for putting on today. And more importantly, Phil is the program coordinator for the last 6 months, obviously helping us out, putting this whole program together. We've seen, as Phil said, some wonderful talent coming through the door, and I've really enjoyed getting to know each of your businesses and understanding how you're looking to solve some challenges out there in our wonderful industry of agriculture. So thanks again. Firstly, the Agtech and Logistics Hub was set up a little while ago now. In fact, we're coming up to our 1-year-old birthday on the 18th of May. So the founding partners were the Queensland Government through Advanced Queensland, FKG, the TSB Group, which is a Toowoomba Strat Basin Economic Development Board, and we had UQ and USQ. So a fantastic group of partners who all bring something to the table to help this Agtech and Logistics Hub really mobilise, and as we all set out to do, is work with industry, being the agricultural industry, and finding out what challenges they're facing, and then working with talented solution providers like we're going to hear from today about how they go about solving the challenges, validating their technology, and making sure that they go on the journey with the grower to get to the actual end solution. So looking forward to today. Congratulations to the 10 companies that we hear from today. They've done an outstanding job, and their journeys are all at different sorts of size of their businesses, but it's been wonderful to see how they're going. So it's great to see all of them starting to engage with a lot more social media, and they should be proud of what they're actually doing. So I'm really excited about hearing these pictures in a little while. Just with regards to the Hub, we've got some exciting things coming along. Predominantly in the next couple of months, we've got some fantastic things coming up. We hope that the rain disappears and we get some nice weather. But look, the first one I just wanted to talk to was the 400M program. The companies online have been invited to play and come along and listen. There's a huge ecosystem gathering in Toowoomba. We're looking at ag tech, supply chain, very important parts, and particularly as we roll out of COVID and we start to see borders expanding, we're really starting to see a huge interest coming in this space. So the 400M is on from the 23rd to the 25th of this month, held in Toowoomba. If you go to our socials or the TSB socials, you'll be able to find tickets there, and encourage everyone to get involved. So it's a really big event. We've been doing it even in COVID last year. We were able to get away with it, and it was a fantastic group of sessions. Most importantly, what we have got is a really good group of speakers from industry and also some innovators. So I look forward to the blend of that. Plus, we're doing some tours around to have a look at some local sites and local innovation, and also having a look at the Hub, which we're looking forward to bringing a couple of bus loads through there as well. So if you're around, please drop by and catch up with us. The other things we've had happen, and you know, I understand the journey comes along with investment. Today, people will be talking about their businesses, what they're near and dear to. One of the things that we've taken on board is to make sure we get corporate support behind. And any of those following our socials would have seen we had Telstra, IBM and Ericsson come through last week. They were really impressed how the Hub's evolved over the last year, and they're actually calling back in the next little while with an investment team. They want to talk to people that want investment. They already are very active, in particular Telstra, with regards to actively investing in Agtech. They want to make sure they're the right partner for these people and these innovators, because they don't want to take over the business. They take small chunks, they help deliver, but they open them up to a huge ecosystem. So that will be a big one. But following up that, we've also got a Indian delegation. Most people will be aware we've just signed a free trade agreement, and we've got 5 multi-billion-dollar businesses coming through on the 2nd of June. And again, it'll be good to hear from our partners in trade now through India, and they'll be landing there. We're going to do a demo day, then we're going to do some pitches for some people that are interested in what they're looking for. So again, I'll be looking today at some of the pitches, because really looking forward to seeing if we can put them in front of the Indian delegate. So they're really important things, and I understand that valley of death needs to be overcome with investment. So we said we'd always start out with getting some corporates in through. Big shout out to Phil and to Al in particular, Mandalay, Australian Agtech and Agri-Food VC should be acknowledged. And Queensland based, we're obviously very proud of them and what they're doing there. So again, it's good to see the investment coming through in this sector. We've obviously got a couple of things going through, things like FarmFest, Hort connections and those sorts of things. And I would encourage people that want to get involved there to get involved, because they are areas that you should seek out to talk to farmers, talk to innovators. It's a great networking event. They can be a bit cool in this time of the year, particularly up at Toowoomba, but the Hort connection one's indoors, and it's a pretty good show. It's got a lot of investment. But make sure you get your tickets if you're going through those sorts of things and having a bit of a look at it. We've got an AWS workshop coming up. They're looking to obviously expand their investment into Agtech, and we're working through what areas they are taking on board. And I think the key that I'm starting to really understand with Agtech is, if you have innovation and you are looking to go to market, do make sure you've got an ESG component to your business, because that's where a lot of the corporate are looking right now. And obviously we're looking to solve some of those solutions, challenges, but also provide some of the intake on what you actually do through your own business. So with regards to that, we've also started to reach out a lot more. We've enjoyed that Dan, who's might be online today, has joined us from the Bundy Hub. We're starting to work through there, catching up with him tomorrow. And we're going to bring programs to him, and vice versa. They're going to bring programs to us. So we're going to start to see that collaboration. I think it's important that all the hubs and nodes and clusters start to work around Queensland. And with that said, I'm going to point out that the DAF are doing a roadmap of Agtech in the next couple of weeks. It's already started to progress, but the 19th of May, as a call out, there'll be one session at USQ for Toowoomba-based people, or there'll be another one, date to be confirmed, but follow our socials for Brisbane. So they're important things, and if you are in this ecosystem of Agtech, I'd encourage you to have your say, because DAF play an important role, policy, construct, vesting, all those sorts of things. So they are looking to get a wide range of it. It's been run by BDO, who are well known in the Agtech sector as themselves. So that's a couple of things that are going on. But look, importantly, I'd just like to offer my support that while these guys have done an accelerator and they've done an exceptional job, and Phil and his team have done an exceptional job running it, the idea of building this hub at the start was to really offer more than just 12-week support. We're here, we've got physical location, you can demonstrate your materials, your technology, we can take you out to a lot of the actual events. We're starting to put on the hub to farm events again, where we've actually had real good success in deploying a lot of tech. A couple of the programs that we've run already have gone very successfully with a work balance there. And we're going to focus on those being into horticulture and grain in the next couple of months. So they'll start to kick up pretty soon. The last one that I'd like to encourage people to get involved with, and you'll hear about it on our socials, is the Agribusiness are coming into the actual store. We're going to have agronomists, we're going to have real estate, we're going to have livestock people coming through. So please get involved with those events as they come through in workshops. But again, they are the sorts of support that we'll offer beyond the 12 weeks of the accelerator, and to all innovators that are online and all investment people that are online. So thank you again, Phil. Thanks again to your team for running such a professional outfit, and we look forward to the pitches coming forward.
Fantastic, Owen, and thank you for all of that. It's great to see a lot of the updates coming from the ecosystem as well, because obviously one of the big roles that a hub like yours plays is being an immense asset to the ecosystem as an orchestrator, knowing what's happening, knowing who is who, and connecting up within the ecosystem. So thank you, Owen, for all of this. So over the last 3 months, we've had the pleasure to be working with 10 great Agtech companies that are making extraordinary progress within their own disciplines. And for those who are less familiar with the concept of an accelerator, I guess the name sort of says it. We think that we can accelerate this progress even more. We like to say that we make 12 months of progress in 12 weeks, so about 3 months. And we work with each of the companies to understand their value in the marketplace, dissect their operations as a whole, and then build them back up to lay strong foundations for further growth of their businesses. So we cover a lot of ground within 12 weeks of work, from value propositions to business models to corporate structures, finance, including investment, marketing and sales, teams, boards, and governance, and of course, product roadmaps, pilots, trials, and much more. So a lot of that happens during this program, and it is a lot of fun. It is also a lot of work. All of this is really made possible by working with the Hub team and its network. So thank you, Owen. Thank you, Steve, who I believe is on the webinar as well, who is the Agtech community manager at the Toowoomba and Surat Basin Enterprise. Obviously, our own program team, including Mark Gustowski, myself, our entrepreneur in residence, Al Fullerton, and also some really great mentors that have come through in the program. And so thank you to all who have contributed your time, your energy, your passion, and your knowledge to the program. It does really take a village to build great companies. So there are 10 companies pitching here today. In great 2022 fashion, we actually have 9 companies pitching today, because one company or one founder called me this morning with a positive COVID test and feeling really ill. So will not be able to pitch today. Is Bella Farbus from 40. But you are with us in our minds, and we think of you as you go through COVID and the recovery. But yes, to the 9 others who are now here on the call, but also Bella, of course. Thank you, because you have been amazing through this. One of the mentors who comes into the program, Peter Laurie, loves to say that the dirty secret of any accelerator is that the bulk of the value is brought by the participants, not by those who run the program. And I think that's very true. And we've seen that in real life over the last 3 months. We've seen you work together. We've seen you invested in working on your businesses, in addition to working on your businesses, in addition to working in your businesses. You have worked together. You have created bonds. You have, from the very first session, been a group that has been really trusting of the process and trusting of the rest of the cohort. And for me as a program manager and on behalf of Innovation Architects, it is an absolute pleasure to be able to work with a cohort like yours. So thank you so much. Before we dive into pitching, Owen did mention it, but we do have the 400M Agri-Food Innovation Forum coming up 23rd to the 25th of May in Toowoomba. One of the reasons we had opted for a virtual showcase, other than the geographical challenges, is that we also thought we could balance a virtual showcase with an in-person opportunity to meet the founders, also see them pitch, see them showcase, talk to them, see their products at the hub, see their products at the forum. And so if you haven't made travel arrangements yet, if you haven't bought tickets for 400M yet, we do encourage you to do so. It is really an opportunity to see the best of the best of the agri-food tech and agri-food innovation opportunities in Queensland and in Australia. So that is definitely something we would like to see you at. We are also running a startup pitch event as part of 400M. If you are interested in knowing more, I will drop the expression of interest link in the chat. Feel free to share it with any company you believe should have an opportunity to be on stage in front of industry stakeholders and investors. Okay. With that said, I want to introduce you to our first company for today, and that is Optomni or Optomni, who are pitching their product called OmniOrder. We have Murat here. If we are lucky, we also have Sabina on the other side. You have been amazing throughout the program, so thank you so much. Murat and Sabina are a company that has come out of SproutX as well. So they have had the opportunity to be supported by some of the best mentors in the country as well, and have really used this opportunity or this program to further their access to the Queensland market. So with all of that said, Murat, I'm going to bring you onto the stage. I think you can.
Yes, I think I'm here.
I think you're here. Yeah. There you are. I can see you. And I believe you can also share your screen.
Perfect. I'll do that now.
There we go.
Okay, everyone can see that.
We can see it. And so whenever you're ready, I'm happy for you to just kick it off. And Perfect. Thanks for volunteering to go first.
Oh, I think I was volunteered.
Okay.
But that's okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Murat, CEO and co-founder of Optomni. I'd like to start by sharing with you a few worrying facts. So in Australia, 20% of fresh produce and other perishable food is wasted before it gets on shelves, with the major factor being mismatches of supply and demand. And the overwhelming majority of this is paid for by growers. We're seeing exactly this play out now in the avocado industry. But how can growers better match demand, find new markets, and get their supply visible in front of the right buyers when the perishable food supply chain is still reliant on agents and middlemen using manual processes? This photo was sent to us by one of our early adopters. Half of the produce that we eat in Australia is transacted or managed today, like this, somewhere in the supply chain. To stop this unnecessary waste, we at Optomni built OmniOrder to digitalize, automate, and optimize trading in perishables. OmniOrder is a trading and optimization platform that optimizes growers and wholesalers' supply decisions with market demand. On the one hand, we reduce waste, and on the other, we help growers and wholesalers maximize their profits. We do this using AI that forecasts demand and allows growers to supply exactly how much buyers will need based on their unique specifications in either their own private marketplace or a public marketplace. But optimizing supply and demand is just one element of OmniOrder. In fact, our platform also facilitates the trade from orders, invoices, inventory, pricing, and integrated logistics tracking, as well as handling invoicing workflows and automating accounting system integrations. When a grower uses OmniOrder to manage their existing business processes like taking orders, invoicing, and running their packing shed, they also gain a new sales channel which can offer two transformational benefits. First, losses are reduced by up to 25%, which in aggregated for the industry will save 500,000 tons of produce being lost at a value of $400 million, which also translates to about 1 million tons of CO2, not counting methane saved from landfill diversion. And second, profit margins are increased for growers by reducing unnecessary middlemen, capturing better prices, and accessing more markets. The Australian fruit and vegetable wholesaling market is big and growing, with a $14 billion value and a 2.5% annual growth. Our focus is on capturing the $7 billion that currently passes through 6 wholesale central markets, which accounts for half of the fresh produce that we eat in Australia, predominantly everything that is not Coles, Woolworths, and Aldi. Our business model is comprised of 2 pillars, a transaction fee and a SaaS model. Sellers pay a transaction fee only when we connect supply and demand. Sellers also pay a subscription fee, and advanced functionality for buyers is unlocked with a subscription fee too. When we kicked off our customer prospecting, we secured 25 early adopters who were consulted on features and requirements and who are now waiting for our product. 5 of them have already committed to be onboarded in our pilot program. And this is now underway as we're now in an alpha phase with our first customers, including leading Queensland grower Qualipack. Our next step is to move to full beta with the rest of the early adopters, raise our seed round to ensure we can support the growth of users, and begin scaling nationally to get us to 1 million ARR in 2023. Obviously, there are other wholesale ordering platforms. Some of them are ordering platforms only, which were designed for hospitality first and foremost. Some are pure marketplaces, which require individual listings to be managed and need critical mass to provide value. Some are enterprise systems, which need expensive customization to work for fresh. What makes OmniOrder unique is that it delivers advanced end-to-end workflow automation and optimization without an expensive customized deployment. And it's built specifically for perishable food supply chains to reduce losses. And because we do so much more than a marketplace, like invoicing and inventory management, we provide value for growers using it with their existing customers, so we don't fall into the marketplace catch-22 where you need critical mass to make it work. Before starting the company, our team of supply chain experts worked together at an AI software company where we solved these types of problems for some of the largest companies in Australia. Abdel, our CTO, was the technical lead for AI ordering software, which is still being run at Australia's largest food service distributor, PFD Foods. Sabina is an expert marketing professional with an arsenal of UX skills, and I was the solution designer behind the market trading platform, which is being run at Australia's largest grower, Costa Group. Daniel has recently joined us to help provide the voice of the grower. He was Grower of the Year and co-founded FarmMate, a company that worked to solve the market transparency problem in Australia. Never before has the time been better for digital transformation in this traditional industry. The pandemic has driven an increase in e-grocery and more digitalization across the whole supply chain. At the same time, major supermarkets have invested into AI inventory optimization for fresh, and the rest of the sector is following. Tighter produce specifications now allow digital trading without the need to physically inspect produce. And growers have been under a lot of pressure over the past 2 years, which is forcing them to innovate and seek to get more value from their harvest. At the moment, we're focusing on our alpha and beta trials. After hitting these traction milestones, we'll be raising a seed round of $750K, which will give us 18 months of runway with an expanded team, including a BDM and several developers. This will enable us to reach 1 million ARR before the runway ends. We ask you to join us on our journey to build Shopify for growers, transform the fresh supply chain, give growers a better return, and slash waste. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Murad. And leave this slide on just for a second while we change over. Well done, and you've been a great part of the cohort as well. One of the questions, just as we move to the next pitch, is okay, you're raising, but you're based in South Australia. How can the Queensland ecosystem engage with you, and what's the best way to understand that?
At the moment, our alpha customer is in Queensland, and our beta group is spread across SA and Queensland. So these 2 states are absolutely our focus. So we've been working obviously with the hub, with you guys up there. We found a lot of receptiveness from the Queensland market, especially. We've seen a greater appetite for the early access program from growers in Queensland. So it's a huge focus for us. And yeah, we recently did a trip up there. We'll be coming back soon, I'm sure.
Okay, thanks so much, Murad. Okay, and next up is Darren Walkin, who's the founder of Smart Paddock. Now, Darren is not pitching live today, but he has sent a video of his pitch. He's stuck somewhere in a paddock, I'm sure, but he's got an incredible product he's building, very experienced founder, and we look forward to seeing your continued success.
Hello, my name is Darren Wolfchen, and I'm the CEO and founder of Smart Paddock. Our vision is to transfer traditional farms to be highly productive, environmentally and ethically forward-thinking without resorting to factory farming. We feel that livestock production must innovate to stay competitive and relevant in today's market. Currently, on-farm decisions are based on experience and gut feel. And with the lack of skilled staff, low succession rates, and low technology uptake, we feel traditional farms are destined to disappear. And we want to change that. We want to see these farms make decisions based on data. We want to help on the automation to help these farmers scale their operations. We want to make it attractive to new entrants, farm children to stay on the farm. And we want to give the ability of these farmers to sell direct to premium markets, organic, ethical, sustainable, and grass-fed, for example. Our solution is the Smart Paddock platform. This is software that advises on best practices based on analytics, data from the farm themselves, You know, we can do validation of ethical, sustainable, and organic production. We can enable these farmers to monetize their livestock data. This is data that they're going to be already capturing. And we want to help support the automation of operations through animal location-aware sensors and controllers. So with our platform, we want to give farmer actionable items on a whole of farm view: water use, grazing patterns, herd locations, feed availability. We'll do detection of animal health issues through a machine learning feedback loop that we've created. We give security and peace of mind to the farmer with stray animal detection and theft alerts. And we will help in the optimizing herd reproduction around artificial insemination, calving, pregnancy detection. To do this, we had to create the Smart GPS ear tag. This is the smallest GPS ear tag on the market today. And with this tag, we put it on every animal, we capture the data to send up for the analytics. And our platform is a whole end-to-end solution, right from the tags that go on the cattle and sheep, to the on-farm network that supports the capture of the data to send it up to the cloud, to the software platform to do the analytics on mobile phone, website, tablets. So our primary market is beef and sheep, with across the whole pre-production, calf production, backgrounding, and finishing. That's our initial market. Our secondary market we'll be looking at in the future are these related industries of farm finance, farm insurance, and regulatory. This is where the data that the farmer is generating can be worth money to both the Smart Paddock and to the farmer. You know, the market opportunity is huge. We figure in Australia alone, there's approximately a $700 million market for smart ear tags. And then we're looking at planned expansion, US, Canada, and South America, where you look at Brazil alone is a $5 million market opportunity. Our business model is a tiered SaaS model based on long-term contracts by utilizing our proprietary hardware products, the smart ear tags. So if you look at a cattle operation of 1,200 head of breeders, it's going to cost the farmer about $2,400 a month. But this is going to give the farmer an 8 times return of investment. So a $241 value back to the farmer each year by implementing our system. There are competitors in the a couple of competitors in the beef industry and a couple more in the dairy industry. All the dairy industry products are not suited for the beef or sheep industry, and this will not work. In our market, in the beef and cattle, in the cattle and sheep industry, there's just a few players, and we are the only one that offers that complete end-to-end solution of capturing the animal, the data on the animal, to the advanced data analytics. We have built up a solid core team, engineers, advisors, etc. And now we'll be looking to expand that team. So that's one of the things we're doing with our current raise, is really looking at expanding our operations teams, our sales teams, our marketing teams. Currently, we are raising 1.5 million, and this is to meet our current sales pipeline that we already have ready to go. Like I said, we need to expand our operations and management team. We also want to accelerate the development of our highest return of investment features for the farmers, and that's primarily around the reproduction size. And we want to increase our margin, our overall software and hardware margin, by reducing cost of production, and that's something that we are looking to scale up as well. If you want further information, please contact myself, Darren Wolchin, at smartpaddock.com. Thank you very much.
There we go. Well done, Darren. I'd ask you a question, but I don't think you'd be able to respond. So good luck with it all. And we look forward to supporting you on your journey as you continue. Next up, we have, again, a product by a larger company, a product called Track and Act by a company called Key Data. And we have here with us Kyle Holmes and Tom McDade, who are the product managers, founders, let's say, of Track and Act. Kyle and Tom, can you turn on your video and...
Yep, video should be on. Phil?
I think you're here, that's right. And you should be able to share your screen and kick me out. There we go.
Fantastic.
All right, welcome guys, good to see you.
Likewise. And good afternoon.
There we go, whenever you're ready, you just go ahead.
Thanks, Phil. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kyle, the head of strategy at Track and Act. And joining me for this presentation is Thomas McDade, our CEO and founder of Track and Act. Now, Track and Act started as a small proof of concept between the Department of Agriculture and Fisheries and Key Data as part of the service supply chain project. And we realized that the strengths of Key Data and data analytics could be brought to bear on the problems the market was having with technology and technology providers in the space. When Tom joined Key Data, he identified a real opportunity in the market to leverage our expertise and provide a solution for agriculture. With Tom's extensive background in the space and the relationships with technology providers from our work through the POC, we were able to partner with the best tech in the market and work with a range of great producers and build trust with them such that we could influence the roadmaps of tech providers and understand deeply the need of producers. And thus, Track and Act was born, developed with the intent of providing a real-time supply chain temperature monitoring service to help farmers make the most out of best-in-breed multi-sensor data loggers. Our customer feedback is evidence of successful engagements providing real outcomes for customers. We engage with large industry, for example, delivering CanStar's new B2B platform. We've worked with a range of ag producers to really understand the issues and needs, and some of our early adopters like Manblue are taking our service and expanding on it. And we respond quickly to changes in the market requirements, such as the impact of COVID on the management of vaccine efficacy in pharmacies. So condensing all this down into our vision, our BHAG, if you will, our vision is a world where every supply chain is on the best possible path for success. And we deeply believe that that path involves working with industry, partners, universities, and government. And to unpack the Track and the Act in Track and Act, I'll pass over to Tom.
Yeah, thanks, Kyle. So fundamentally, what Track and Act is all about is reducing temperature excursions, which impact shelf life. Where was the industry a few years ago? Pretty much unmanaged. You shipped your product, you hoped it arrived in the right destination on the right time and in a good condition. 2016, you can see the sort of profiles that producers were looking at. Between then and now, we had USB data loggers, which where you're looking in the rear vision mirror, you had to collect them at the end of trip. You then had to diagnose them if you bothered to. Where are we today? We've got a platform that's been proven over a course of a couple of years, working with producers, working with the Department of Agriculture and Fisheries, and working with other key early adopters in other industries. What have we solved? Well, we can track your produce, we can track your temperature, we can track whether the container has been opened, we can track shock, we can track acceleration, we can track humidity, many more features coming. This solves the lack of real-time visibility by providing alerts, customized alerts, and opening up this data to be available to your chosen supply chain partners in real time. It was a convoluted type of marketplace, and confusing with which platform to choose, which technology to choose, how do I interpret the data? So we've solved that problem by being agnostic to technology and providing a common platform to be able to use whatever your preferred technology is in the marketplace, and our preferred suppliers who we've deemed that are best of breed in order to make tracking of your produce globally possible. We maintain your data and we curate your data, and we provide it back in a very simple statistical page, as you can see on this screen. It's broken by legs, it's broken by accountability, and we've empowered the platform for you to start and stop your trip when you want to. Many of the other providers start and stop based upon destinations. We allow you to put wider date ranges in. Protecting you from claims from the end market, you can now provide evidence in real time as to whether your produce has had a good shipment. You can identify where the weaknesses are in your chain leg partners. You can address that directly with visual evidence. And we've removed the need for manual data analysis and manipulation. So if you've worked with multiple providers before, you're probably trying to get your data out in different formats, put it into Excel and do your analysis. We provide that platform, we provide the data in a common format, and we can certainly look at the wider ecosystems. We can push into some of your other data fields, or we can bring data in to augment this for you. The picture of the bananas down there is a Queensland producer, Pacific Coast Produce, who we worked with the Department of Agriculture on with those various tag companies there in order to prove out the best technology fits. To the right is a picture of one of our early adopters who ships mangoes, top 5 mango exporter, ships them domestically and through to Southeast Asia. What he's been able to achieve is removing 5 degrees of Celsius out of his temperature profile on these journeys. And what has that done? It's added 3 days of shelf life, means his produce is received in a premium condition and he's getting top dollar for it. That is success. As Kyle mentioned, we pivoted through the course of the last couple of years to build a product for pharmaceutical industry. We immediately knew that was transportable back into our core business and reason for doing this, agriculture. This module has now been uptaken by some of our early adopters, and basically it allows you to monitor temperature anywhere, so in a fridge, in a pack shed, in a cooling room, or in a ripening shed. And what did we find? That you couldn't believe the AC performance that you thought you were getting. So the thermometer on the wall, it's not calibrated, it's telling you a point of temperature. We proved that they were inadequate. Taking that further, we understood from some experimentations that cooling and airflow assumptions should be challenged. This particular producer had a cooling regime between 24 and 36 hours. We now know, fixing the AC performance, fixing the cooling and airflow, he's now got a 16-hour timeline to get his product from 40 degrees in the paddock to his shipping temperature. Therefore, his throughput is increased. And mastering your data feeds. We bring these modules together so your data is one simple place. Further to this, we've experimented. We've got various use cases that we've utilized, and we directly impact the hardware providers' roadmaps. We meet with their product teams and we provide evidence, and we focus on Queensland, Australia-centric requirements. And we've been very influential, both in price points and also functionalities. This particular use case was an experiment we did when we heard the problem statement. What's the point of tracking stuff going by ship? Well, in this particular case, we added a battery pack to the traditional trackers. This was a piece of heavy machinery traveling from Australia into Africa, worth over $1 million. We started tracking on February the 1st. It got stuck behind the Ever Given in the Suez Canal. We were able to tell our client that it wasn't in Alexandria where we expected it to be, it was in Athens. We were able to tell our client it wasn't on the ship you expected it to be, it's being transported. There was a bug and we couldn't actually tell him which ship it was on. This use case was used by the Open Visibility Network, a global organisation and partnership of providers, to solve the use case of what was going on between shipping carrier technologies and container tracking capability. Our use case helped them resolve this for the benefit of all. As you can see just quickly on that diagram, The yellow or orange bits on the bar is where we picked up transmissions over the course of this trip. So from February the 1st until October the 1st, we successfully tracked, even though we had the bug within their systems, and we're able to tell the client that, yes, it's now in your location where you expected it. There it is, a dot on the map, you've made it. Almost 8-9 months later. And what's next for Track and Act? Well, we're launching our product commercially. We're seeking out wider collaborations. You'll see through the course of the presentations today that the interlinking and the unique capability of us to, as a group, bring together a powerful ecosystem. The next speaker and presenter, we're very interested in extending temperature profiles with him, and we've got clients asking us about on-farm efficiencies. We're working with shelf life algorithms. We're the second company in the world to implement Meat and Livestock Australia's beef and lamb algorithms directly into our software. We've won a very large Southeast processor, and we're now circling one of Australia's largest processors to sign on for these services. Grain biosecurity. We service the largest coal port in the world. They're talking to us about their diversification strategy. We've just given them a 5-year plan. They're investing heavily in grain. At the same time, University of Queensland has approached us about doing some visualizations for their grain projects. We're going to join those dots. Further to that, we'll be at 400M, we'll be at Hort Connections. Come and say hi. If you can't make it, or even if you can make it, I do encourage you to take out your phone, scan our QR code, say hello, connect with us. We want to hear your stories. We want to hear what we need to do. We want to resonate with the industry and improve this sector and marketplace.
Thanks, guys.
Then lastly, just a big thank you to Phil and the Ag Hub. We couldn't be happier that we picked our backyard, Toowoomba, to launch our product.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kyle and Tom. Really good stuff. And again, pleasure working with you as well. For the other innovators, the other startups that are on this webinar, just make sure you stick to about the 5-minute mark. Otherwise, we may run out of time towards the end of the session. But amazing story, and I really love what you guys are doing. So thanks so much. Now I know that the next speaker is going to keep to time because that is Peter Bale, who has sent through a video of a video pitch of his company called Harvest. And Peter is a really great founder, showing lots of being really eager to learn through various trials. He's been part of, his products has been on various trials within horticulture, and he's learned a lot from that. Peter is going to be doing amazing things with Harvest End. So without further ado, Peter, let's hear from you.
Welcome, my name is Peter Bale and I'm the CEO and founding director of Harvest Ant, a labour and harvest traceability company. Horticulture labour, it's expensive and hard to find. Because of increasing labour costs, growers are concerned about the lack of visibility they have in the field. To make it even more challenging, when your pickers are in an orchard, you can hardly see anyone. Most growers only have visibility at day's end, once harvested is finished and all the data is collected and then entered into spreadsheets. I'd like to introduce you to our digital supervisor. We provide real-time visibility for each and every picker. We provide data which provides visibility, which provides the tools to help every picker move from the left to the right. We do this by installing smart devices on people and assets to provide real-time insights, such as locational and productivity analytics, which automatically integrates into payroll, compliance, traceability, harvest, logistics, and other farm management processes. We've decided to create a mixed revenue business model, which includes monthly recurring revenue and sales from e-commerce from our range of harvest aid consumables. We're focused on automating data collection, not just information about the picker. Today, the grower is wanting to record a lot more data from the paddock. Tracking tasks assists with payroll. Tracking location and weight helps generate yield maps. Tracking location, temperature, and time helps with harvest traceability and shelf life algorithms. In the last 4 years, we have formed key partnerships from growers to engineers, researchers, and manufacturers. We have established design and manufacturing in Vietnam, filed for international patent, completed our design and manufacturing of our first generation hardware, which includes the digital supervisor, our smart scales, and gateway. We've conducted various trials in blueberries, citrus, avocados, lychees, and cucumbers. Our smart bucket mould is due to land here in Brisbane on the 12th of May to help us manufacture Aussie-made harvest buckets. Our go-to market strategy is to focus in the Bundaberg region, where we have existing connections with Bundaberg fruit and veggie growers, Department of Ag and Fisheries, and CQ University, where they have helped us identify early adopters chasing visibility, productivity, and traceability. We'll also be exhibiting at the National Horticulture Exhibition here in Brisbane in June this year, so please come along and say good day. We believe that we can capture 15% of the market over the next 3 years in Australia with an annual recurring revenue of over $7 million. Whilst we're a small team, myself, Jess, Baz, Rich, we're all located here in Queensland, while Ron is located in Israel. We have surrounded ourselves with some of the industry's best to help us punch above our weight. Our ask today is that we love to meet and talk to a strategic grower investor about being the first to integrate our solution into their existing payroll and ERP systems. Thanks for listening.
There we go. Well done, Peter. And as you heard from his pitch, some of the molds have landed in Brisbane or in Queensland today, so which is why Peter couldn't make it. Next up, we have Chris from a company called Merrigan. I never know really how to pronounce it, but Chris will tell you everything you need to know about the future of agriculture and drones. So Chris, welcome. It's really good to have you here. I may need to start your video. There we go. Chris, just unmute yourself and you should be able to speak. There we go.
Yeah, how's that, Phil?
Yep, great. I can hear you, and you should be able to share your screen and take over mine.
Beautiful.
There we go. That's coming up. And Chris, whenever you're ready, just start. Again, really good to have you here.
Sorry, I'm starting a stopwatch there. So I'll get us back on.
Thanks, mate.
So a bit about, I suppose, Mirigan initially, and thanks for the opportunity to speak to you all today. Mirigan is essentially a consulting drone robotics company based in Brisbane with offices in Canberra, Sydney, and Melbourne. Our team are predominantly ex-defence people who have spent a large portion of their careers advising the Australian Defence Force, but largely also at an academic level. We have some doctors that work with us, and we are avionics experts, aviation engineers, software developers, you name it. We have 26 staff across our 4 locations. So predominantly a large amount of the work that we do is for the Australian government, to the Department of Defence. We have contracts and programs with Australian Border Force as well, but also we've advised to CASA. We also work on different projects, seagoing projects for the Royal Australian Navy, Army, and also the Royal Australian Air Force. And if you're in Sydney over New Year's, you may have seen our drone show, which to date is the largest drone show in the Southern Hemisphere. Elevate Sydney, which was one of our projects as well. The experience that we have in defence comes from a long-standing, I suppose, relationship with the Defence Force. Initially, the gentleman fourth on the right in that photograph is our 2IC of the company, Andrew Crow, from his time in Afghanistan. So that's where our experience comes from. So being that sort of, I suppose, organisation, we got involved with agriculture. I'm from the Riverina in New South Wales myself, University of New England, studied agronomy. My role here is really the agricultural manager, but my initial questions came around the problems around rural connectivity. So we know that the agricultural product demands is going to grow. Habitable land is, well, it needs to be increased, but it's unfortunately it's decreasing statistically. So we need to do more with less, and we need to manage costs, efficiencies, sustainability, and protect the environment at the same time. So precision agriculture could be a dirty word. It's been around for some time, but we really do need to start doing more with less around, I suppose, being as smart as we can with the technology that we have available to us. So connectivity in this instance, especially in Australia, it's been an issue for some time, and we've actually believed that we found a way to solve that issue. So some of the options that we looked at that currently exist is, well, you just go without. That is, there's no communication in your particular area. Radio, be it CB, UHF, is limited. You can transmit some data over that, but traditionally it's not a large amount of data. Mobile phones, well, they can work if you've got some connectivity already, depending on the network and depending on who you're with. And then there's satellite comms as well for both voice and data. It can be expensive, and it's limited to a single device. We've come up with something that's new, but it's not new at the same time. So we take a technology that already exists. That is, we have a multi-rotor drone. We have a ground-based power unit, such as a diesel generator or a solar power unit, and a comms extension device, something that is already made as well. So we basically bring it together. So the idea for a tethered drone basically is you push a button, the drone flies up, and it transmits or extends connectivity device over a given area. The higher the drone flies, the greater the area. We've tested this. We did some testing up at the Agtech Hub in Toowoomba December last year. Basically, what this allows is people to communicate over those distances via the tethered drone that you've got there. So it unlocks the precision agriculture that we've been talking about for so long. It really does unlock a lot of these things that at the moment we just can't do. So tractors that are being developed aren't being used to their full potential because the tractors don't have the connectivity they need to be the smart tractors that they've actually built them to be. Where they have connectivity, yeah, they are, but in large broadacre areas, a large part of which of Australia actually we do have under pasture, they just can't be used to their full potential. Good thing about it, it also provides some safety for those people working out in those remote areas, employee welfare. They can also be reused for disaster relief. So if there are fires or floods, knocks out comms, that you can basically tow this unit in, press a button, drone flies up, and everyone in that area now has internet access, which is something that is widely needed. So the benefit, I'll just go back. So the threats, yes, Starlink is coming, we know that. There's a couple of things. It's dependent on infrastructure, usually a home site, similar location, and it'll still need a mobile solution. And we do know that this is somewhere between 7 to 10 years away for the majority of people. If it breaks down, there is a network like Vanderfield provides service and support in a lot of areas, which we've already spoken to Vanderfield, and they're looking to partner with us to provide this to tractors, so we can have a tractor with this device. And the tethered drone regulations are different because of CASA, because basically one of the benefits, as you can see, point number 3, there's no license required. CASA does not class this as a drone because it's not flying independently. So as a result, there's no pilot. If there's no pilot, there's no license required. So we get around a whole range of things. It runs on diesel or solar. It's already on the farm. Every farm's got diesel already on it. It's a push button start. You don't need to be a brainiac to use it. You press go, it'll fly to the required height and transmit instantly. And it sits on a box trailer, so you can basically tow it anywhere that it's required on the property. Initial investment around $99,000 will enable us to pursue the development of the prototypes, and we believe we can get it going in under 4 weeks. Most of the work we actually already have done. There's a few things we need to do, but the original, I suppose, market-ready product is somewhere between $500,000 to $1 million. We would like to speak to anyone that's interested in getting this up and running about that further. That'd be fantastic. Success, there's 2 million tractors sold each year. I'll throw some numbers at you just so this sounds really good. 26 million tractors in the world currently, of which many are not smart, so they can be retrofitted with this technology. So if you're looking at 1% of the total market, result in 20,000 units being sold with a net margin of around $15 million. So, to recover units, you only need to sell 1,400 of them to be sold. And just looking at Australia, then you'd cover that quite easily. So just again, so we are leaders in our industry. We've been around for a long time. 2017, which is in drone terms, is a lifetime. We often get called in to give our perspective, our view, and comment on drone aspects and robotics and AI. But alternatively, we'd love to connect with somebody out there that's got an interest in I suppose, solving the comms problem, which doesn't need to exist any further. So great to have your attention. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much, Chris, and good to have you here as well, and look forward to continuing to work with you and seeing you at 400M as well. Okay, moving on to the next pitch. Again, a video this time. I'm moving over to Agronomy, who with Stu and Tim, who have participated in the program. And they've decided to share a demo of their product just on the back of a successful fundraise. And that is the most valuable for them at the moment. So without further ado, let's play the video of Agronomy.
G'day everyone, my name's Tim. I'm one of the co-founders here at Agronomy, and we've recently participated in the Hub's inaugural Agtech Accelerator program. I'd like to start by saying my sincere apologies. I couldn't be there to present live. We've just recently closed a funding round, and I couldn't get the diaries to align as we're starting to propel the business into its next stages. We just need a few more hours in the day, like I'm sure every other founder of a startup would love as well. Secondly, I'd like to say a big thanks to the guys at the Hub, Olin, Steve, Mark, Phil. It's been a brilliant program. I've really enjoyed it. We've got some brilliant information out of you guys. The support's been fantastic. We came on board to sort of give our product a foothold into Queensland and build a network up there, and you've been nothing but fantastic in the support for us to do that. To the other members of the cohort, the the caliber of founders and your solutions is brilliant. We're very much a collaborative company here at Agronomy. You know, we want to be part of a solution, not a problem. So we're always here to collaborate with you, and if we can be of help, please reach out anytime. In saying that, we've put together a short video of a project we've been working on, which gives you some deeper understanding of what Agronomy is and where we're taking it. So once again, thanks. I hope you enjoyed. Reach out anytime, and you know, be more than happy to chat to anyone if we can be of help and provide a solution to any issues or problems you have on farm. I'm more than happy to do so. So enjoy it, and thanks again.
Hi, I'm Stu, and welcome to a demo of Agronomy's Ag Twin platform. Today, I'll be walking you through the ways we have combined Azure FarmBeats and CSIRO science to deliver an AI-infused digital twin of the Burrawa Agricultural Research Station. The objective of this project was to enable simple and intuitive access to large volumes of data with a direct focus on soil moisture at various depths, soil carbon, hydrology, landscapes, weather, and farm design. By bringing this wealth of information together in a simple and flexible way, we have been able to help understand the relationships between factors such as weather and soil moisture, while establishing a digital foundation for the future development of the BAR's digital twin. Utilising a network of in-ground sensors, which I'll show you in a moment, the team at CSIRO and FarmBeats are able to generate interpolated maps at many depths to show what is happening to the soil moisture or plant available water on any given day. Let's dive in and take a look at what happened when the drought broke at the start of 2020. Firstly, this is a timeline where a user is able to manage which data sets they want to look at. You can see the analysis type, available water, at various depths that I have selected. And the top right is the chosen date range. You can change your selection by using the filters drop down. What we are looking at here is some sorry looking country. With very little rain for years leading up to this date, there is almost zero available water through the profile of the soil, which is represented by these dense red maps. However, as we moved into March, you can see some significant daily rainfall totals, and the maps at higher depths starting to come back to life, with splashes of blue representing a significant jump in the available water. However, that wasn't anywhere near enough to fill the profile of the soils, and you can see that it wasn't until April of 2020 that we really started to witness the reprieve with consistent falls and cooler temperatures. Still, the lower depths needed more rain. Let's take a deeper dive into the analysis. By adding the 300 and 1700 millimeter layers into my analysis set, we are able to view these maps in detail in the main window. Here, you can really drill down into the variability across the farm. You can add as many layers as you like to this set for any given investigation. So let's jump forward to November of this year and take a look at how the profile has changed from year to year. You can see much greater consistency across the profile, which is no surprise given the amount of rain which has fallen in recent months. As mentioned, these maps are generated through a network of sensors across the farm, so we can go deeper into the data that is driving the modelling. Again, using the end of the drought as an example, we can clearly see how different depths responded to rainfall events at this exact location. We noticed modest lifts at the higher depths from early rain in 2020, but it wasn't until 37 mils of rain fell on the 4th of March that the available water really took off. However, that wasn't the case across the profile. As you can see when I turn on each of the depths, how much rain actually needs to fall after a long dry spell before the available water in the soil really made its way through the profile. By analysing the surface of the landscape, we can continue to build the unique water story for this particular property. Utilising high-resolution elevation models, we are able to predict the flow of water across the farm. This farm-specific insight gives a critical piece of context to better understand what is happening below ground, make more informed management decisions, understand areas of the landscape which may be vulnerable to erosion or waterlogging, and capture overland flows in efficient and compliant ways. carbon sequestration is at the front of mind for the industry, and it was certainly a part of this project. We've enabled the analysis that has been completed by the soils team at CSIRO to be presented as another layer amongst the wealth of information that exists for this property. Here, we are looking at the soil organic carbon in the top 30 centimetres of dirt. The areas of deep green are at a higher concentration comparative to the rest of the data set. We can see how the variability changes when we dig deeper into the soil to analyse 30 centimetres to 1.2 metres. Now, the inverse of this is the area of the farm vulnerable to carbon losses. Here, the deeper the red, the higher the risk. Again, we can simply and intuitively compare these analysis layers in detail and in context of other data which may be driving our investigations or decisions. Weather is a factor for every farmer in every corner of the sector. Having the ability to view real-time hyper-local information within an integrated platform is a must. Here, we are hooked into the local bar's weather station and can get a simple overview of what is happening on site, as well as the historical information that has been rolled up on a daily basis across the life of the data stream. Changing gears a bit now, let's use the AgTwin platform to expose the way this farm is configured and where some of the fixed assets are positioned across the farm. Firstly, we now have a source of truth for every paddock across the farm. These survey-grade definitions of the management areas are a critical step in the digitisation of the system. They act as a digital anchor for everything that has happened or will happen in this paddock, enable connections through to research projects happening on these farms, and when autonomous robots are freely moving about the farm, making sure they're in the field and not in the fence. This approach means every part of the farm is digitised. Click anywhere and the app will inform you what is nearby or look for groups of assets such as dams or silos. This is just the beginning of the digital twin journey for this farm at Burrawa. With this foundation in place and access made easy, farm managers, collaborators and external stakeholders can easily continue the development of their unique system.
And there we go. Thank you so much, Agronomy, for sharing this really cool demo video of the product. And it's always great to see something in action and seeing firsthand the value created through the platform. Next, we have Steve French from Paddock. Again, really interesting innovator going after one of the biggest challenges in agriculture at the moment, and that is the challenge of connectivity. So without further ado, Steve, if you can show your video and unmute yourself, you should be able to join us.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Good.
How are you?
Not too bad, yourself?
Yes, very well. Have you got any slides, Steve?
Yeah, I think I'm just going to see.
Fantastic.
Share.
Yes, feel free to just share.
Can you see the screen?
Can do now. All right. Stage is all yours, mate.
Cool. Thank you much, Phil. Good afternoon, everybody. As Phil said, yeah, I'm Steve, founder of Paddock. We're a process automation and telecommunications company for multiple industries. And I guess our journey into ag really started with us looking at how we can do automation in the ag sector. And as Phil mentioned at the start there, it quite clearly come to us quickly that to do any sort of automation in ag, there's definitely a gap in connectivity to enable us to do the automation. So with that, what we decided to do is, instead of reinventing the wheel, we started to look at where have we done connectivity projects, what sort of connectivity solutions have we done in the past in different industries that could work in ag. And after speaking to a number of different farmers and owners and in the ag industry, we've been pushing a product called Radiant, which is a meshing network. So the Radiant solution enables to bring farm assets to life through a Wi-Fi connectivity across your whole property. And it's a combination of fixed nodes, mobile nodes, and even wearable nodes where you can connect to your farm from an access point. I'll just see if this slide is going to change. It builds a mesh network with no single point of failure, which enables you to start looking at all different types of automation through your whole journey. It enables you to future-proof your farm for all levels of automation through basic data sensors, through to RTK, and then even through autonomous equipment, all connecting together. As you can see from this slide here, the reagent network will enable you to go through all that journey. So you don't have to go straight into full autonomous. You can start at very simple, just getting some data through, and then you can build your network, and it enables you to grow that as your farm grows in your journey. All assets of the farm can be used as part of this network. As I said before, they can be a combination of fixed nodes, mobile nodes, even on person. So you can have an access point at your farm, which will give you your Wi-Fi coverage. You can connect it to a silo that will give you height. It can be connected to a tractor, it can be connected to a ute. You can even have on-person ones where you can wear on a horse, on a motorbike. Turkey's nests, wherever you've got an asset, or wherever you're looking to either get data, automation, security, that becomes part of that network. And as you build it out, you'll build a stronger connectivity network throughout your property. It's a proven product. One of the reasons we've gone down this route is it's a proven product that's in the industry. It's currently heavily used in the mining sector in Australia and in ports. So in the ag side of it, it's almost a plug and play situation that we have right now. Once we get to a farm, we can access, plug into an access point, as I mentioned before, which most farms will have, which will be your internet coverage, whether it's satellite, whether it's 4G modem, and then we can enable to extend that coverage across your property. This is sort of, I guess we're sort of saying a bit of a typical farm, a bit of a showcase of what we're trying to do here. So this is one of the farms that we're deploying the mesh network to. This is around an 18,000 hectare property. If you can see my mouse there, the access point at this property is the main house. So we'll provide they call them a breadcrumb, but provide an access point at this house. Each one of these blue triangles is a Wi-Fi node or a reagent breadcrumb. And as you can see, all the green lines between is how they interconnect and mesh together. Obviously, depending on topology, we might have to put repeaters in just to get around the property. So essentially what it will do is once you connect into your access point, whatever internet coverage you have at your house, we'll provide that internet coverage at each one of these access points. Each one of the access points is a Wi-Fi node. So up to 200 meters around that, you can connect any Wi-Fi device, whether it's your phone, your tablet, whether you want to put security cameras up, you want to put sensors in, any Wi-Fi device you can add into there. The cool stuff about the reagent side is it's built for mobility. So even though these ones are fixed nodes, the whole idea is when you have them in a vehicle, on a tractor, on person, as you drive through the property, you would become part of this network. So in this green areas here, that's where you'd become, anywhere there, you'd connect to another breadcrumb. And then you'd have the same connectivity as you would as if you're sitting at your house or in your office or wherever you've got your access point through. So as you drive through the property, you'll always stay connected. So for this particular farm at the Knudsons there, when they're looking at what they're trying to achieve from a connectivity project and from automation, initially it's from a safety point of view. Their guys will now be able to be connected to be able to do messaging, email, VoIP calls, anywhere on their property with a reagent node as part of their vehicle or on their person. Then from a security point of view, they're going to start adding security cameras in around their property. And then from a everyday running of their business, the cattle yards, which is about 2.5K distance apart, they've never had any connectivity there before. Now they're able to run their business at the cattle yard where they're doing weighing cows, where they're getting trucks in. Instead of driving back to the house to upload data, to talk to people, they can do it live and direct. They're starting to look at different types of automation now, start stopping pumps, opening, closing gates. I guess the world's your sort of oyster. Once you've got a connectivity that's stable and secure, then you can start looking at how you can enhance your farm moving forward. One of the big pictures for these guys as well, as I think most owners are, they're not always on property. So this will enable them to have full visualization of their farm and control of their farm wherever they are. So that's basically what we're pushing. We've currently got multiple trials on, successful trials we've done with many farmers, and we're deploying at farms as well as we speak. For our plan moving forward is just to get the message out there to show that, look, there is solutions for connectivity in properties. Not saying it's the only solution, but we believe it's a great solution to enable automation for your farms. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Steve, and thank you for being an active participant of the cohort as well. I know you're one of those founders who have been traveling throughout the entire thing. You've even been affected quite heavily through the floods we had about halfway through the program. So thank you for sticking with it and for presenting today. And obviously, huge challenge in agriculture. So fantastic space to be in. Okay, with 8 minutes to spare, we're moving to our last pitch of today. And the last pitch is a company called iTrazo TraceTech. I would love to invite Ree to start her video, unmute yourself and join me on stage here. And Ree, as well, is a founder who's tackling a huge opportunity, a huge challenge within agriculture, within other sectors as well, but within supply chains more specifically. And without wanting to steal your thunder, Ree, I'd love to hear all about it, and I'd love to hear all about iTrazo. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Phil. And firstly, thank you to Agtech Logistics Hub for this opportunity. And it's been a pleasure working with you guys, and a big thank you and a shout out to Owen Williams as well for everything and all the support that he provides, but all the wonderful support that we get from the entire team at the Agtech Logistics Hub. Hi, everybody. My name is Ree Anjuram. I am the CEO and founder of iTrazo TraceTech. We work with supply chain traceability. Our business is all about providing supply chain traceability solutions. So what is traceability? Traceability is the ability to track all processes from procurement of raw materials to production to consumer to disposable, and to clarify who, what, when, where, how a product was made. And traceability is becoming more and more important, and there's a massive demand for it coming through with the increased issues around product safety, food safety, biosecurity issues. And the early adopters of the technology are agriculture, manufacturing, pharmaceutical, and health, as well as electronics. iTrazo's value proposition. So iTrazo ADI is our traceability platform that we have developed over the last couple of years, and it is probably one of the most comprehensive and secure global traceability platform available in the marketplace. We enhance trust at every step of your supply chain with our cutting-edge data sharing and analytics tool. Our platform is developed 100% in Australia. Our team is all based here in Melbourne with sites across Queensland and Sydney. We track and trace every journey of your product, asset, or service from cradle to grave. We aggregate data compiled from sensors, tracking technology, data exchange with trading partners that are part of your supply chain ecosystem. Behind the scenes, the AI, machine learning, facial recognition technology we deliver, we capture the data, we deliver deeper insights and faster, more efficient way of doing things, rather than the old way of trying to manually engage with the data. Our platform comes with four key components or four key modules. One is the value chain traceability, that is track, trace, and analyze the complete journey of your product, asset, or service from cradle to grave. And what that allows you to do is to aggregate data from across everybody within your supply chain to better manage your product recalls, product diversions, spoilage, tampering issues by tracing the product at any given point in time. And it gives you the ability to trace back and forward through your supply chain. The other module within our platform is the asset management, because that forms part of traceability. We give you real insights on your asset and where it is deployed at any given point in time. Again, with IoT coming into play now with everybody deploying IoT sensors across, or GPS sensors across their operations. We use that technology to bring the data onto our platform to give you the real-time location, temperature, and any other, and allow you to do the maintenance of your platform. Consumer engagement, again, traceability is about providing information to your consumers. So you gain trust of your consumers, and you build lasting relationships with our engagement tools. With iTrials or ADI, your business intelligence is always on point to enable you to connect with your consumers directly to build brand trust. Data integration and interoperability, a key component. So everything we do is all about data. So supply chain traceability through data exchange and interoperability with systems used by trading partners. So no matter what system they use, we enable and ensure the product safety, the quality assurance, the compliance. The iTrials or ADI platform enables companies to quickly and easily connect with their trading partners to exchange information about the products they buy or sell. So our journey, where have we been? So iTrials started this journey in August 2017. As a startup, that's when we launched the business. We did market research. We realized there was a massive need for traceability solution. We went through the architecture, the design, and in November 2018, we launched version 1.0 of our platform. And we also trialed out blockchain as a distributed database, which we threw out because we realized it was not ready for commercialization and there was a lot of hype around it. So we've developed our platform all on AWS, which is SaaS, software as a service. In 2019, we were ready to commercialize. We did the market launch, and then COVID hit. So in September 2021, we had paying customers onboarded. We started getting the brand recognition, the market awareness, and we scaled up our team again. And then we are now going through a significant growth phase. We're looking to do our brand positioning and targeting larger customers. We've also had a very successful pilot that we've run with GS1, Woolworths, Deacon, SRT Logistics, and the organic apple company in Tassie. Along with that, we have production customers on our platform, such as Costa Group. They were the first customer to be on board on our platform. Groundmaster, Extreme Logistics, Justin Lane, The Chosen Ones, Duriga Station, G-Force, M-Corp, Grass and Goats. So these are just some of the customers that I'm mentioning here that are already using our platform. What we are looking for as part of this, I'm not here to look for investors or asking for money. I'm looking for opportunity to work on projects within your organization that to address challenges such as supply chain traceability issues, assets and services tracking, data aggregation across operations, consumer engagement. And the other ask that I have is introduce iTrials to your existing network customers and affiliates who may be interested in our traceability technology. Thank you for your time. And if, I've got my information up here. Please feel free to reach out if you'd like any additional information. And thank you, team, for the opportunity to present.
Thank you, Ree. Thank you, Ree, and well done. And it's always great to hear the story of iTrials and good stuff. And again, we can see you at 400M as well, and you're quite involved. All right, mindful of time. That's it. We're wrapping up. Thank you to the entire cohort for pitching here today. You've seen these companies just at one point in time, not at all an end point, even though it's the end of the accelerator. It's in many ways a starting point for a lot of businesses, a lot of these businesses. And so we would ask you to be part of their continued journey. And so the one thing you can really do to help these companies is to get in touch if any of them sparked your interest in some kind of way, shape or form. I will provide their contact details in a follow-up email. Feel free to contact them directly and to have a chat about what you could potentially do together. We will be seeing each other at 400M as well, which we've already mentioned multiple times, but the 23rd to the 25th of May is when it's happening in Toowoomba. If you are a startup or you know of an Agtech startup who's looking to pitch, feel free to let us know. We have a startup pitch event as part of 400M as well. And I'd like to conclude this webinar by thanking the Hub team directly. So Owen, thank you very much for everything you've done in support of the cohort. Steve, thank you so much for all of your matchmaking magic behind the scenes as well. Tom, if you are listening into this, thank you so much for leading the Hub and Agri-Food Connect. Thank you to the stakeholders, FKG, Advanced Queensland, the Department of Agriculture and Fisheries of the Queensland Government, the University of Queensland, the University of Southern Queensland, and the Toowoomba and Surat Basin Enterprise, TSBE. Thank you to the entire cohort for being part of the program. And as we said, we look forward to continuing to work with you. Thank you to all the mentors who have been part of the program and who will continue to be part of the journey of some of these businesses you've heard of today. And finally, thank you to my own team, Mark, Al, and thank you so much for everyone who's being involved. Have a good afternoon, everyone, and hope to see you all in the next few weeks.